Hi everybody, and welcome to another live question answer mediumship clinic with me, Martin Twycross. Hopefully we'll have a few people joining us. My apologies that we are running late. It's 45 minutes late, I'm afraid. And I had a few technical problems getting the stream uploaded to YouTube. After much effort, we finally got that sorted. So my apologies for the technical gremlins, it happens. So let me start by wishing you all a happy new year. I'm hoping we'll have a few more join us. Sadly, something happened with the first stream and the streaming, the code that goes with it for YouTube has been and gone. So I'm not sure how many people will be able to access this. I'm hoping we'll get a few here. So welcome to Omar, welcome Shelley, and happy new year to you too. So I hope we'll have a few joining us. As I say, the technical gremlins also meant that I couldn't actually restart the live stream. I pressed go and it didn't work. And the way YouTube works is that's the end of it. You have to create a new one. So the link I shared for the old one will probably cause problems for a few, I expect. Welcome Tilly, welcome Sigrid. So I'm sure many of you understand how the live stream works, the live question answer. You can upload any questions you've got in the chat box and I'll do my best to work through them one at a time in order as they appear. And if you want to support the channel, you can do that by checking out what I offer on my website, in my store. And funnily enough, at this moment in time, there is actually a holiday sale on in my store. 10% off site-wide. It ends midnight on Thursday, the 4th of January. Midnight American time, American Pacific time. So that's when it ends. So if you want to take advantage of 10% off all my products, study program, courses, etc., you can do that. It's all available in my store. You can also subscribe to my channel. And some interesting news, I will be offering some practice sessions, actually. People keep asking me, when will I do some practice sessions? So I'm going to be doing some courses and some classes where practice is also involved. At the moment, I'm exploring creating some kind of progressive mediumship, mentorship type scheme as well. So watch out for those later in the year. So that's exciting news as well. So hopefully we'll have a few more coming in and hopefully somebody will have a few questions for me. But somebody did ask me an interesting question that I wanted to bring to the live stream because it's such a fascinating question. And the question is, should you actively plan your development? Should you plan your development? Should you think about what you want to achieve and plan it? And the simple answer is absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. We plan all other aspects of our lives, don't we? You know, we plan our working career. We plan all sorts of different things. Why would mediumship, why would your development be any different to those aspects, those areas of life? It doesn't make sense that we wouldn't plan it. So I've always taught planning with our mediumship for many, many years. I think I first started teaching a class on reviewing our development, reviewing what we've done over the course of a year, and then planning the following year ahead. I started doing that in about 2008. So that's going back a while now, 15 years of teaching that. If anybody is interested, I do have a video that would be very beneficial to that. So on my video, special topic number 12, the very last one I recorded in that video series is called Tools for Development. And within that, it looks at two major tools. One is the annual review, where you review what you've done over the course of a year. You review how it went. You review, you know, did it help move you forward? And then you identify the areas where you want to improve even more. You identify those areas that you want to put time and effort into, and then you make an action plan for the year ahead. So it's kind of like a business review, really. I got the idea from when I was working, and we used to do that at work, and I thought that'd be fabulous to take it and just apply it to mediumship and our development. So if you're interested, that is one of the tools I teach in the Tools for Development. The other tool that I teach is journaling, which I think is extremely valuable, where we journal with our mediumship, our development. We write down all our wins, all our successes. Most people I know focus on when it doesn't work, and they beat themselves up when it doesn't work. And if I say what worked really well and what were your highlights, they find it hard to think of them. It's like, well, But if you journal it and you put it down and you focus on what's working and what's going well, that creates a positive energy, it builds a positive vibe for your mediumship. So that will help. So definitely, I do recommend doing some kind of review of where you're at, review of what's working for you, review of what's most important, and moving forwards, what you want to achieve. As I say, with my videos, that one, special topic 12, tools for development, that goes through it in great detail. And also, if you purchase that, you also get links to download the various PDF files that go with it as well, so that you can do all the exercises that go with it. Hopefully that's of interest to somebody. So should you actively plan your development? Yes, absolutely yes. Hell yes, that's what I'd say. So welcome Tara as well to the room. Okay, let's see. Have we got any questions? Keen to start your beginner's mediumship course. However, by opening up the channel, so to speak, I wonder if it could possibly lead to random, unscheduled connection with spirit. The answer is no, but that comes with a kind of, for some people, what happens is they find it so exciting. They go looking all the time for a connection. And if you go looking, you'll find. So it's all about the discipline. With mediumship, it's about discipline. We're either on or we're not. I teach that I'm either working or I'm not. If I'm doing a service, if I'm doing a demonstration, if I'm doing a sitting, if I'm teaching, I'm on. If I'm going about my normal day, I'm off. If I'm sitting to blend with spirit, I'm on. If I'm doing trance, I'm on. If I'm healing, I'm on. Other times, I switch off. So it's all about the discipline. And people who we call them leaky tap mediums. They're sat on someone next to the bus and they're trying to get a link for them. Or they're stood next to somebody in a supermarket queue and they're trying to say, oh, I've got your mum here. And no, never give an unsolicited reading is the first rule. But also don't be looking for stuff. So generally, in 99.9% of cases, no, you wouldn't get random links. It doesn't make sense. But if your mind is, whether consciously or subconsciously is looking for it, yeah, you might get a link. Absolutely. So that's possible as well. You wouldn't mind it during the day, but not at night when I'm trying to sleep. Absolutely. I agree completely. I'm with you on that. I always say to spirit, if you're going to bother me during the day. Don't bother me in the middle of the night. But they don't. They don't do that. I always say, if you're going to manifest spontaneously, let me see a true physical manifestation. Again, daytime's better. Daytime is better. Absolutely. Sigrid, I'm a beginner. Do you have tips for the color ribbons exercise? Now, there are numerous exercises you can do with colored ribbons. So I don't necessarily know which colored ribbons exercise you're talking about. The exercise that I teach with beginners is that we use ribbons. What happens is you put people together in pairs. You have a huge range of different colors. Each one selects 3 colors and you do a reading based upon those 3 colors. Now, to a certain degree, some people can learn what colors mean. Other people don't. And I'm of the opinion that we kind of have to find our own meanings for colors. But what that color means for that individual at that moment in time is actually depends on what's in their energy, what's in their aura, what's in their energy field around them. So red does not mean that person's angry. Oh, red, anger. Oh, red, it's life energy. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. It depends where the person's at in their life. It could be a health issue. It could be all sorts of different things. So we always, whenever we're doing a psychic work, we blend with the energy of the person in the room. We blend with the energy of the person opposite us to work. That's the most important thing. Anything else is just a tool, just a focus, whether that's a ribbon, whether that's an angel card or oracle card, whether that is, it could be anything, a piece of string. One of the things I love is you get a piece of string, someone just drops it and it forms a pattern and you read the pattern. But of course, you're not reading the pattern, you're reading the person's energy, and the pattern is just a focus. Tea leaves is another example. all these different tools, it's all just a focus for doing the psychic reading, but the reading, the information comes from the sitter's energy. That's the important part to recognize. Okay, you have ribbons, you close your eyes, you want to find out the color, but mostly you fail. Yeah, how easy is that to do? How beneficial is that to do? And, you know, I'm going to play devil's advocate here and say as a tool for development, I wouldn't necessarily say that's a fabulous tool. If you give a highly developed medium a ribbon and to ask them, what color is that ribbon? They're going to have to try and psychometrize the ribbon to figure it out. And color doesn't necessarily create a powerful energy if it's psychometrized. When someone's handled something, their energy is within it. We can pick up the energy of a person within an object. But trying to get the color of the ribbon, it's going to be hard. So I'm not surprised you mostly fail. If I did it, I expect I would mostly fail as well. You know, there's a whole bunch of pens over here. I'm going to randomly just try and pick one up and pray I get a color. And I'm going to quickly psychometrize it and see what I get. And I guarantee I'll get this wrong. Just watch. Blue. There you go. Wrong. Again, you know, it's not an exercise I'd recommend you do because it has limited benefits. It has limited use. So if you really want to work with colors, then work with the energy of people. That's what I'd recommend. Hopefully that helps you. And I am proof that it does not work for me. Okay. Donnie, Happy New Year. Most religions don't allow contacts to spirits through mediumship because it's demons who post us as our loved ones when we connect them. Is that a possibility? Absolutely not. Not in my experience, no. Not one of the people I've connected with in the spirit world has been a demon. Not one of the people I've connected with doing mediumship has been a fake. Doesn't make sense. You know, that comes from all sorts of other religions, but the reality is we're connecting with normal people. People come forward to connect with somebody because there's a connection, there's a love bond there, they've shared time together in their lives. Quite simply, the guides and helpers from the spirit world wouldn't allow anyone who's trying to pretend to come forward. You know, do I believe in demons? I don't, no. So I don't even believe in demons anyway. Again, it all comes from religion, from religious beliefs, from fear-based thinking. So I no, quite simply no. I wouldn't be teaching mediumship to people if there was a possibility that they could be harmed or a possibility they could connect with negative energies. No, it doesn't make any sense to me. But again, I have a whole bunch of videos on my channel. Do we need protection? You know, what about lost souls and earthbound spirits? Check them out because we need to dispel these ideas, these myths. There's so many myths and misconceptions in relation to mediumship. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, Tara. I'm interested in possibly attending an open circle at my local spiritualist church. However, as a complete novice, I'm not entirely sure as to what it involves. And the problem is I don't know what the circle of that church involves neither, because I've never been to the circle there. And different tutors, different mediums teach circles in different ways. And, you know, some churches you go to, everyone sits literally in a circle and they wait for people to give off, it's called. Everyone sit there and if anyone gets something, give it off. And for me, it's a really old school way of working. I never taught that way, to be honest. So if you came to a circle with me, we basically, if it was a beginner circle, we'd have a meditation and then we'd do some psychic exercises. If it was a mediumship circle, then we would basically start just by doing a bit of mediumship exercises as well. But again, different people teach in different ways. Meditations are pretty common, exercises are pretty common, or the idea of sitting there and hoping that a spirit link suddenly miraculously appears in your head without any teaching on how to connect to the spirit world. That's always amused me because it doesn't make any sense. You're expecting people to be able to connect without any teaching. So that kind of circle for me is very old fashioned. Don't like it. I'll probably get myself shot for that, but there you go. I don't mind. I'll tell it like it is. We need, if we're going to teach people how to do psychic development, if we're going to teach people how to do mediumship, we need to give them the theory and the practice and put it all together hand in hand. And the exercises should move people forward. People have come to me and said, "Oh, I've been sitting in circle for years and years and years." And it's okay. Here's a mediumship exercise. Let's see you do some mediumship. "Oh, I can't do it." And it's like, well, all those years, what did you do in circle? "Oh, we just sat there and some people gave a link and others just sat giving energy." Well, actually, in sitting there, you've not done a great deal of development. You haven't been given exercises to push you forward and move you forward. And as a consequence, you've not developed. So it's like anything in life. If I was gonna tell you to, okay, get you to play the piano, and if I stick you in a room with the piano, yeah, you might sooner or later knock out a few notes. But if I teach you about the keyboard, about scales, about different notes, about if I give you music and teach you how to read music and then try to learn to play it, you'll become a much more accomplished piano player, because I've given you a bit of theory, I've given you the opportunity to practice. Yes, over time, with practice, you become better. But if I don't give you any theory and you don't have a great deal of chance to practice, don't be surprised if you can't do it. And just putting somebody with the piano, putting someone in a room saying you might connect to spirit is not enough. Anyway, I'll stop there. I will stop there. Okay. Another question that was asked for me that I want to cover off in this class as well is, I'm interested in doing automatic writing. How do I do automatic writing? And now there's two parts to this question. The first part, I'm going to say I'm interested in doing, could be automatic writing, could be inspirational speaking, could be trance mediumship, it could be spirit art portraits, it could be anything. You're interested in learning to do something. I want to do private readings. I want to be a platform medium working in the theatres. It could be whatever. And the simple answer is, to get to any of those things, A, it will take time, effort, and a lot of practice, a heck of a lot of practice, and probably years of your time to do it. It's not like we can just look down a menu of types of work that mediums do and say, "Oh, I'll have that one, and that one. Thank you very much. I'd like to be a trance medium, physical medium, and this, that, or the other." Well, actually, no. Certainly with physical mediumship, I believe you have to have that potential and ability within you. With lots of things, mediumship, psychic work, inspirational speaking, inspirational writing, all of those can be developed to varying degrees. Not everybody will be fabulous at them. Not everybody will go on to be a platform medium. Not everybody will go on to be able to do readings professionally. But everyone can go a certain way along it. Just like if we come to teach someone music, we can teach everybody to some degree, but not everyone will be a virtuoso. How can they be? Not everybody will be a professional musician. Not everybody will be on TV. So the point is, we have to have an ability that has to be unfolded from within, and we have to give it the time and the effort. And so whatever you want to do, are you prepared to put in multiple hours of your time to get there? Are you prepared to put in a huge amount of work to get as far as you can get with it? And if the answer is no, then you won't develop it. You've got to really want to develop it. To develop mediumship well, for most people, is probably a 5-year journey. And it may be longer than that. I know people, it's taken them a lot longer than that. So let's come to automatic writing. What is it? Automatic writing is where you're doing inspirational writing and your hand moves and you're not even conscious of what you're writing. That's automatic writing. It's if you like, it's along the scale of inspiration. It's at the very end. It's where the information flows through you without you consciously registering what's going on. Before that, we start with writing where we are consciously registering thoughts, ideas, and words, and we put it into our own words in the writing. And then we may get a stream of words coming in that we can write. And then we may get a flow of words that we're aware of that we can write. And then we may get, eventually, where it becomes unconscious to us, we're writing, but we're not even aware of what we're writing. But that is pretty rare. That is pretty rare. I myself, it's only happened a few times with me where I truly am not aware of what I'm writing. It's rare. For the majority of people, you'll have some conscious awareness, and therefore it won't be automatic writing. How do you develop it? Well, I do have a video that may help you. Special topic 7, working with spirit inspiration. That is all about, we go through that in great detail in that one, all about how to develop inspiration, whether it's speaking or writing. The basis is the same. The idea is the same, whether it's speaking or writing, it is the same. So yeah, it takes time. So first of all, you'd start by doing inspirational writing, and a lot of the ideas would just be coming within your mind. And we've got to learn to open to spirit. We've got to learn to open to our guides. My current course that I'm offering, I offer a whole bunch of courses. It's not listed on that one, but there are a whole bunch of courses. The current one that I'm doing is called Understanding Guides and Helpers. And we look at how we can learn to work with our guides and helpers. Inspirational writing is all about blending with your guides and helpers and receiving their inspiration. So that's what it's about. To try and describe the whole process in a live Q&A is just not possible. But it's all about making that connection with them, attuning to them, and then opening to the flow of inspiration. And we have to learn to blend with them. We have to sit in the power, give them an opportunity to get to know us. We have to give them that opportunity to see how our mind works. And they blend with us as we learn to blend with them. It's a two-way thing. And we've got to give them the opportunity. And over time, we refine the process. To begin with, what comes through won't be very good. To begin with, you'll be saying, this is a lot of me. I'm not even sure it is spirit. And that's true. Over time, as we refine it, yes, it becomes better. As we refine it, it becomes something so much more special. But it takes time. It takes years to be able to do that. So that's how you do it in a nutshell. So hopefully that helps. Ranvik. I have a constant, on most part of the day and night, a heavy pressure on my crown chakra and my forehead. Does this mean anything? I'm sitting in a circle. Now, the type of question you're asking me, whatever you describe, it could be any symptom. And it's a question I get asked very often. This is happening to me. Does it mean anything? And the problem is, some mediums say, oh, yes, oh, absolutely. And it's based on nothing, to be honest. It's just based upon their own belief system. And for me, unless I'm sat in a room with you and can feel what's going on with you, unless you're in a circle with me or in classes and teaching with me, I'm not really able to answer the question. Now, I don't do chakras. Yes, they exist. Absolutely. They exist. I get that. Some mediums teach you opening chakras, closing chakras, focusing on chakras. Focus on the third eye and you'll develop mediumship. Now, I don't know about you. You could spend weeks, months, years focusing on the third eye and not actually develop mediumship at all. I would rather teach you how mediumship works, what the theory is, give you exercises that would actually develop it. And then you'll probably develop mediumship because everybody I've ever taught that to does. But focus on the third eye, I don't really know many people who've developed mediumship through that practice. I don't teach it. Personally, I believe it to be totally and utterly irrelevant. Of course, my strapline is bringing you practical down-to-earth teachings on mediumship and development without the fluff. I'm a huge fan of Harry Edwards, a healer, and he removed all the practices from healing that he felt were a waste of time. Just didn't seem to bring any benefit. For me, the ideas of focusing on chakras and trying to make certain chakras work just doesn't really work. Yes, they exist. Yes, they're there. Yes, they are used in the process, but we can't control it through the chakras. For me, just leave all that alone. Leave it all alone. It doesn't help you. So if you feel on the top of your head a weight, is that caused from spirit? If it's happening all the time, day and night, no. It doesn't make any sense that spirit would do that. None whatsoever. And if it was spirit, all we'd have to say is, look, spirit, I don't want this. I don't like it. It's not helping me in my daily life. Take it away. And they would. They absolutely would. Spirit are intelligent. So if it's from spirit, you should be able to ask for it to go away, but it's not. So we'll try that out first and see if it happens. But does it mean anything? The answer is, I don't know. I cannot tell you. Sometimes we get things and we don't know what it's about. Then later down the line, when we've done development, it either just disappears naturally or we see why that happened. Maybe it's just how energy is affecting you, but I don't know. But it doesn't make sense. If it happened in it when you're blending with spirit, absolutely. It may mean something. It could be a calling card from a guide or helper. It could just be how the energy of the connection is affecting you. But if it's happening outside of doing spiritual work or connecting to spirit, then the simple answer is, I don't know. It could be a medical thing. With all these things, people say to me, oh, I get this pain in my head. Could it be spirit? I'm like, no, I go to the doctors first and get it checked out normally. Absolutely. Check it out normally. So I don't know if that's necessarily helped you, but for me, I can't say it means a thing, no. But I hope you're able to make sense of it at some stage. But I would say don't worry too much about it. Sometimes what we focus upon, we create. So if just let it go, send the thoughts to spirit. If it's anything to do with spirit, we don't want it. And hopefully they will do it. Tara, thank you. I appreciate your honest response. Sadly, I am honest, sometimes brutally honest, and sometimes my honesty can get me into trouble. But, we have to tell it as we see it, as we understand it. So that's the key. Okay, next question, Lorraine. How do you know if you have the ability to do trance mediumship? When sitting in the power, spirit energy comes in around my mouth, lips and tongue and throat. Occasionally I choke. Again, it's kind of the same thing. Like, because you feel an energy, is that trance energy? No, not at all. It's just how the energy of being blended with spirit makes you feel. How do you find out if you have the ability to do trance? You start development for trance. But what we need to do to develop trance is we need to do inspirational speaking first. It's a deepening of attunement. Most mediums, before they develop trance, will develop normal mediumship, mental mediumship, evidential mediumship. They'll develop inspirational speaking. And then trance is just an extension of that blend with spirit of inspiration and allowing it to deepen deeper and deeper into a deeper altered state. That's all it is. Can people develop trance first before they develop evidential mediumship? Occasionally, but it's very rare. So just because you feel something, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's meant to be trance. Many mediums will probably tell you it's supposed to be, oh yes, that's a sign of trance. But again, I don't believe that. Now, can everybody develop trance to some degree? Yes, to some degree, absolutely. Can anyone develop inspiration to some degree? Yes, absolutely. But it will take time. How long does it take typically to develop trance? Again, we're talking 5 years, maybe. I started developing trance in 2008, 2009, end of 2008 it was. But I'd say the first 3 or 4 years of my trance, the quality wasn't brilliant. A lot of it was me, my brain. It takes time to get us out of the equation and let spirit come through unhindered. It takes a lot of time and effort. So again, if you want to develop that, you can start. Again, it's not easy to develop trance for several reasons. One is that once you get beyond a certain point, you actually need a trance circle with sitters in front of you to give energy and power to the process. You can't develop trance online. In my experience, you can get so far with inspirational speaking. You can get so far with what I'd call a light trance state, but to do it properly, you've got to have a circle with sitters. Hopefully that helps. And hopefully that all makes sense. So I know there's not so many of us in the class at the moment. We've obviously lost half the people who would want to be here because of the problems at the beginning. So if you have any more questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat box. Just a reminder for everybody as well that I currently do have the sale on my website. A holiday sale. It runs till midnight, Thursday the 4th of January, Pacific time US. So that's basically end of the 4th of January in So now for many people, it will actually be the 5th it ends. 10% off all my products, videos, study program, courses. So do check that out if you're interested. If you like my channel, if you like what I offer, do subscribe. I will be uploading this year a few more sort of videos to the channel, as well as doing the lives. Now, sadly, there was a delay with me doing lives because at the end of September, I contracted shingles. And I was out of action for a couple of months with shingles, and then I got the flu straight after. So the last 3 months of the year weren't particularly great. So sadly, I wasn't able to run any live Q&As. I wasn't in great shape, and my voice wasn't good neither. So I'm back up and running fully now. So that we'll be doing more of it. So if you enjoy what I do on the channel, do subscribe. I will be also offering some additional courses this year, and with practice in them as well. It's going to be aimed more at intermediates to advanced. I don't really offer a great deal for beginners, to be honest, because most of the teaching that I do is aimed at those who can already link with spirit and want to progress further with it. So if you're an absolute beginner, there's plenty of other people who offer a huge amount of courses for beginners, so you can check those out. So welcome, CB. Happy New Year to you. So if you're interested in what I offer, obviously do keep an eye on the channel, do subscribe to the channel. You can join my mailing list as well. There is a link to that also in the description of most of my, I think all of my videos should have a link to it as well. So has anyone got any more questions for me? Are we going to have a very short one tonight? It can be on anything related to mediumship, development, psychic development, spiritual development, whatever you wish. I don't mind. Within reason, of course. Within reason. So let me just do a quick run through as well. So I do offer a whole bunch of pre-recorded courses that drill deeply into mediumship and development. You can see them there on the screen, and there's one extra one, the Understanding Guides and Helpers. And I also offer a study program as well. And that's in three foundational modules plus a special module which covers healing, inspiration, and trance. So what I am looking at the moment at developing a progressive stroke mentorship type program for this year. And one of the things I will be looking at hopefully doing with that is I'm going to primarily open it up to those who've got a lot of experience with either my study program and my courses. The main reason being is that you understand the way I teach. You won't be coming in with a completely different way, and we have to try and start from scratch and try and change you. So the preference will be given to people who have experience with what I teach, who understand my teachings and my approach. And plus, so many people over the years who've been through my teachings have said, if you ever do a practice, let me know. So to be kind to them, I will let them know. Absolutely. Okay, Tilly, if we start picking up on people's health during a reading without asking for it, does that mean this is something we should do? So if you're doing a psychic reading and you pick up upon people's health, absolutely. We can talk about that. We can bring it in. If I'm doing a reading and it's with spirit, if spirit draw me to it, I will bring it in, absolutely. If I pick it up psychically, I may sometimes in a reading bring it in, not in a demonstration in a public environment. I don't do people's health in demonstrations in a public environment. It's not fair. You know, I'm working in an audience, there's a church, there's 50 people, and I'm coming to you, sir, and I'm aware that you have cancer. No, that's not appropriate, because nobody in that audience may know that information. So we're sharing information that doesn't need to be shared. If it was a one-on-one, just the two of us, then I'm aware there's health issues around you. I see a lot of trips to the hospital, and I feel that you have an issue, and I sense it's cancer. Yes. We can do it in a one-on-one, but not in a public domain. It's not appropriate. You know, if it comes up, it comes up. So it's one of those things. But one thing we should not do is predict the future. And one thing we can't do is say, oh, I feel you've got a problem with X, Y, or Z, and the person goes, no. Oh, I think you have. No, you can't do that. As soon as you get to the no, we accept what they say. We cannot start predicting they've got a problem, or spirit tells me you have, or I feel there could be cancer within you. You need to get investigated. No, you can't say that. Absolutely not. We have to understand the moral and ethical issues involved here. You know, if we bring in information that is known to the recipient about their health, absolutely, it's fine. But if we get into the realms of speculation, that's not right, not at all. And even if somebody had, we would never predict death. You know, I've seen mediums do it, never do it. I've seen people say to someone, oh, you've got cancer, I see you're going to die in 4 months' time. No, you don't know that. You're not God. No one can know that. None at all. I remember a lady who used to run a church having a conversation with me. She was diagnosed with cancer. She was going through chemo and all the rest of it, as people who have cancer often do. And she had a quiet chat with me. And she said that several mediums in the church had told her she was going to die around this time. And I just said, that is so outrageous. How dare they do that? Because, you know, that's not fair. It's not fair to you. You're already going through enough, having to go through cancer and the treatment thereof without people telling you you're going to die. So I said, I don't think she was. And she should let it all go. And, you know, only person who knows when it's our time is the divine God. No, nobody else here is party to that information. Okay, yeah, if you've got stage 4 cancer and you've told everybody and they've told you you've only got 3 weeks to live, yeah, I get that, you know. Then I see that, okay, if that's common knowledge with people, but that's not mediumship, of course, that's just knowledge. So again, we have to be very, very careful that what we're saying. The power of our words can impact people a great deal. There's a number of videos on the channel, the one on the ethics and responsibilities, an interview I did with Colleen Byram on the ethics and responsibilities of mediumship. And there's another one on good and bad practices that mediums do. So do not do the bad practices. And even on my website, I post a free code of conduct for mediumship for people to understand what mediums should and shouldn't be doing. So check that out as well. I will try and put a link to it in the description after this video ends as well, if anybody's interested. Okay, next question. Are you aware of any resources online to find local circles? Best way to find local circles is to ask around. If there's a local spiritualist church, go along and ask the question. Some basically are very picky and choosy as to who they'll have and who they won't. And close circles, particularly, your face has to fit. You know, if there's a spiritual shop near you, you can go along and ask there. They often get advertised there, or they may have knowledge of where circles are. Go into the online groups. I know there's quite a lot of online Facebook groups. There may even be a one for circles. I think from memory there is some that do online circles. There are some that advertise people's online circles. But if you go into an online Facebook group on mediumship and ask, does anyone know of any circles in this area? Chances are people will help you out and say, yeah, I can recommend this or that. If somebody knows of it, that's probably the best way you're going to find. If there's 6,000 people in a group, one of those may know of somewhere near you. The other answer is an online circle. If you can't find one locally, you have to do some online circles. That's very common as well. And there is no real difference between an in-person and an online circle when it comes to mediumship. They both work equally well. I know many mediums who've been trained solely in online circles without having any in-person, face-to-face circle. Just learned online and developed to a very high standard. Can be easily be done. But yeah, I'm not aware as of any specific resource, any specific website that lists it. There may well be, but I'm just not aware of it, I'm afraid. So has anybody got any more questions for me? Or is this going to be the shortest one ever? So if you have, do pop them in there. If you are enjoying it, remember hit the like button. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, you can do that too. As I say, don't forget there's a sale on my website, and you can support the channel by checking out what I offer: courses, videos, study programs. Hopefully there's something there for everybody, I'd like to hope. As well, you can, if you want to, you can buy me a copy through the PayPal Me. There's a PayPal Me link pinned to the very top of this chat box, and should also be within the description as well. If you want to buy me a coffee to thank me, you can. If you want to use the super chat function within YouTube or the super thanks, again, you're more than welcome. I do this to help people. I offer it as a service. If you want to say thanks in any way, that's always appreciated as well. So do we have any more questions? Oh, we're going to have this one as a short one tonight. I know we lost a lot of people by the technical gremlins. So if you missed out on this one and you're watching it on the replay and you meant to come in and see it and you came along at 7 p.m. tonight, whatever that was your local time, my apologies. There was a problem with the upload stream to YouTube and it didn't accept it, and it seemed to just shut down the whole thing and I couldn't reopen it. And I had to fix the upload problem. Actually, it was a problem with my hardwired connection. I moved it over to the Wi-Fi connection. It works absolutely fine. So I need to troubleshoot my cable. Looks like my cable's got a problem. I tried everything to fix it and it wouldn't fix, but it started streaming, then it would just tail off to 0 and stop. So very, very frustrating not to be able to start on time. But I know that that's meant that quite a number of people haven't been able to make it in tonight who I know would like to have come. So my apologies for that. I will be doing another live Q&A towards the end of the month as well. So you can also get information on that. Sadly, it wasn't possible for me to send out another email to let you know that it was going to start 45 minutes later. So hopefully those of you who are aware, you've been able to come along and pick it up. Last chance, last call for questions. Are there any more questions? So unless we have any more questions appear within the next few seconds, I'm going to end the stream. Thank you all for coming. Wish you all a happy new year. And I do hope that it is a good one for you. I do hope it's a positive one. Again, if you want to support the channel, as I mentioned, do check out my website. There is a sale on at the moment, 10% off site-wide. And also, if you want to support the channel, do subscribe to the channel. Do like the videos on the channel. Check out all my videos on the channel as well. You can binge watch those to your heart's desire. So, in the absence of any more questions, I'm going to thank you all for coming, and I look forward to seeing you all again in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye for now, and thank you, Sigrid, for your super chat. That's much appreciated. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.